Okay, so today we're talking about digital technology. And digital literacy is an understanding of how computers represent different types of data with digits, okay, and how the usefulness of that representation assists people in leading productive lives. So we're going to talk about bits and bytes, we're going to talk about ASCII and binary number system, and then something called digital convergence. So a computer is, you know what a computer is, okay? Electronic device that combines hardware and software, processes and stores data for useful outputs. There are key terms here that we can talk about. We'll talk about hardware, software, input, processing, output, general purpose computer, special purpose. Computer literacy refers to a fundamental understanding of the fundamentals of computers and their usage. Computer fluency captures the essence of business expectations. You're probably taking this course to become fluent with computers. Bytes and bits and bytes. A byte, short for a binary digit, is a digit that can be either a 1 or a 0. A bit is the smallest unit of information that a computer can manipulate. We talk about a kilobit, right? 1,000 bits, okay? A megabit, gigabit. And understanding bits and how they represent information is key to understanding the workings of computers and other digital logic devices. Digitization, or digitizing, is the process of transforming information, such as text, images, sounds, into zeros and ones, so they can be stored and processed on a computer. Analog information, such as sights and sounds, continually vary over time. If what we see in here is broken down into their fundamental elements, very short time intervals, it's possible to describe them and store them digitally. So the American Standard Code for Information Interchange, ASCII, pronounced ASCII, is the standard used to represent keyboard characters. So, so capital A, B, and so forth. The binary number system, also called the base 2 number system, is a number system with only 2 digits, zeros and ones. So here, the hexadecimal number system, or base 16, is used in digital graphics as a shorthand for color representation, also known as hex. This number system includes 16 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, F. Hexadecimal is sort of shorthand binary. Digital convergence. Now this is an important concept, digital convergence. It takes the advantage of the fact that digitization standards of all types of data 0 and 1 we can create a device that combine the functionality of several digital electronic devices into one. The smartphone is, I think, the key example. I saw this television program recently where it claimed the smartphone the most important gadget, ever invented. In this smartphone, you see, you can store all sorts of stuff. Okay? On any computer, you can store, text, numbers, pictures, movies, sounds. The fact that all of these different things can be stored digitally is called digital convergence. And therefore, with one gadget, you can deal with all these different types of information. Computing platforms. I don't know, we don't need to go through that, do we? Perfect. We know what a personal computer is. Right? Mobile computing. Well, maybe I'll talk about synchronization. Server. Does everybody know what a server is? What's a server? Yeah. So you have this, internet, right? And on this internet, you just have a bunch of computers, right? Well, so you got a bunch of computers, zillions of computers on this internet. And these are all connected together somehow. And a server is just it's kind of like think of a bunch of people. Okay, here's a bunch of people, okay, and a guy goes into the taco business, right? He becomes a taco server. And when a guy goes into the taco business, okay, he has to put up a sign saying tacos, right? And people didn't know the taco server, and he can get these clients, so basically they can come and well, it's the same thing on the internet. One of these computers decides to be a server of some kind, and let's say it's a server that services there's something called a file server. Yeah. This thing has it's going to be a file server. So basically, this computer has to put up a program, and this programmer has to say files for sale, okay, or files for rent. Okay, files. Get your files here. And this is a server program. Okay. Well, it's probably best, I think, maybe to talk about a web server. This computer decides it's going to be a web server. Okay. And it's got a whole bunch of web pages that it wants to show off, okay? Web pages, web pages. Get your web page here. Right. But now it doesn't just do any web page, okay? Specifically, it has a bunch of specific web pages. Usually this computer will be owned by a company, right? And these web pages that it has for sale, okay, to show off, okay, are the company's web pages, right? And let's say it's a web server for XYZ Corporation. Now, maybe XYZ Corporation sells something special, maybe. XYZ Corporation sells rugs. Right? If it sells rugs, it's probably not good to name it XYZ Corporation. Let's say this company calls itself Rugs Incorporated, and rugs.com. So it puts up all these web pages about its rugs. Okay. It'll have a home page, okay. It'll have other kind of pages, showing off its different rugs, right? It'll have a whole set of web pages, see? And so it takes up one of its computers and makes it its web server. The only problem is nobody knows about it. It's sort of like, you set up a taco stand, right? How does anybody know you're selling tacos? Well, they gotta come by and see it somehow, right? So there are these search engines, right? Google and Bing. So this this company has to go to Google and Bing and say, "Hey, I'm selling rugs. How about when somebody starts looking for rugs? How about mentioning me?" It's kind of like advertising, right? So if you're selling tacos, you go to the newspaper, right, or the radio, and you advertise. You give them some money, and they advertise, and that's how people know about you, right? And so, so people that are searching the web, for rugs, they go to Google, they type in rugs, come up with some suggestions, and then these people then here he sees your company. He then wants to log on to your. So basically, he becomes a client. Now, this web server basically has to put up this web server software, and this has to stay up at all times. Night and day, has to be there. And so when the client the client will have a browser, right? And he'll put in this address. Like I say, I want to be a client, okay, to this person, And so it'll make a connection, okay? And the client will go over and say, "Hey, what you got to sell?" Right? And then this web server will send this client this web page. And he can look at it, okay? And then there comes out this dialogue then between this client and this server. So there's web servers, there's file servers, there's compute servers, there's Windows servers, there's all kind of servers on the network. These servers, by the way, if two people try to be clients to this server at the same time, the server has to kind of time share them, It's kind of like two people walking into the shop at the same time, right? And you got one clerk, and this one clerk has to deal with this person, and while he's looking at something, yeah, I'm not going to help you, You try to keep them both happy. If 3 people come in at the same time, or 10 people come at the same time, if there's only one server, it's one clerk. It gets bad. Okay, so they have to have enough compute power that they can handle a good many clients simultaneously. Right? So they do tend to be big computers. Servers tend to be big, and so they have enough. So there's a personal computer, a mobile computer. Synchronization, being able to access all of our data and files anywhere at any time from any computer is a challenge. Synchronization is a process of maintaining common files and data across multiple devices so that all copies are up to date. So you've heard of cloud computing, right? Who's heard of cloud computing? Cloud. Well, not to me. It's a big thing in computing nowadays. So the way cloud computing works is this. A good many people nowadays have more than one computer. So you'll have, say, a desktop at home, and you may have another computer at work, and you may have a laptop that you carry around. And so, you're working at home, you're working at work, right? And you develop files information, put all these things on your computer at work, okay? And then you'd really like to say you got a 45-minute commute, okay, on a bus. You'd really like to do a little extra work on your laptop. Well, the thing is, all those files are on your computer at work. So you can get one of these, little drives, right? You get one of these right here, right? And at work, right as you leave, you can just take this and stick it in there and transfer these files over to this little thumb drive here, right? And then you can take that and put it on your laptop, right? And keep working, right? And then make some changes and put it on the laptop, put it on this again. Go home, and you can work on your home computer, right? There's a lot of trouble, okay? Cloud computing is where you have a server, and what this server serves is a cloud. The cloud server. And it's really a file server. It just has call it a cloud. It's just a whole bunch of memory. And if you sign up for this cloud service, then basically you can include this cloud as one of your folders. You can play like on your work computer, one of your folders over here is just this cloud. And the same cloud can be a folder here. And here. And so basically at work, as long as you leave your stuff, in this folder here that's in the cloud, then you don't have to worry about putting it on this little thumb drive. Okay? You just bring up your laptop and get on the internet, and it's all automatically there. You make changes in any of these places, okay? They're changed their place else, right? Everything is synchronized. So that's a big deal. There's one new company called synchronously called Dropbox. Okay, it's free. You get 2 megabytes or 2 gigabytes of cloud free. So you just go to the internet and go to Dropbox. In fact, you go to Get Dropbox. Okay, G-E-T, Get Dropbox. And it doesn't cost you a thing. So you get Dropbox.com and you say, I want to join. You get Dropbox, okay? And you can join, okay? And then on the computer that you're on when you join, it has a little file called Dropbox. And then on your laptop, you can join Dropbox and put in the same user ID, home, and Dropbox. And you can get 2 gigabytes free. And so if you start exceeding that, they start charging you. See, that's how they get to you, right? There's something free, right? And you like it so well, put more and more stuff on it, you finally start paying them, right? They haven't gone public yet. That's going to be a big company when it does go public. That's going to be one of the biggest public offerings. You watch for it. You can make a lot of money. Invest in Dropbox as soon as it goes public. Server, okay, I've talked about an application server, communication server, database server, email server, file server, print server, game server, web server. Supercomputers are the most powerful type of computers. Often use thousands, even tens of thousands of processors to solve the world's most difficult problems. Well, not everybody buys one of these. These still cost millions of dollars, and they're really high-powered stuff. But there's only a few kinds of problems, These are not for the average user. These are problems like weather modeling, searching for oil, oil field simulation, oil reservoir simulation, geophysical processing, building a huge and complex dams and bridges and airplanes and things like that. Special purpose. So when you go in, you have an MRI or CAT scan. That's uses computers that have special purpose. Okay. So that's about it for digital technology. Okay. That's really the first chapter, okay, in the textbook. How many of you got your textbook so far? Good, great. What? Yeah, I checked with the bookstore today, and they all seem to be there. Now, next time I'm going to hand out your first assignment, and you'll have you're going to have to do a research paper, and you have to do this in Microsoft Word, and you have to use the internet, for doing the research. I thought what we would do this time is computer companies. How about, you'll pick a computer company, and what do we want to know about this computer company? Well, we want to know what does it do. There are different types of computer companies, right? There are hardware companies, there are software companies, there are internet companies, There are companies that do printers, right? There are companies that do different types of software, like databases, okay, and so forth. Okay. So, what's a hardware company? Name a hardware company. HP. Okay. Name a software company. What? Microsoft. Name name a company that does just the basic chip. Yeah, Intel. You might say that Intel is a hardware company and HP is a hardware company, but they're kind of at different levels, right? I mean, HP puts together the whole computer, okay, including an Intel chip. Intel just builds the little processor chip, right? Anyway, I'm going to come up with a list of different companies, and we want to know the history of that company, who started it, how long it's been around. How profitable is it, What does its future look like? Whatever you can find out about this company, okay? But you got to do it in 4 pages, so you can't go into a great depth, okay? We're going to use, you know, it has to be in a research format, and I'll go into that next time. You know, I'll actually hand it out and then put it up on the blackboard for you. Yeah. So this will be your very first assignment. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? Yeah. How long? What? 4 pages. It's going to be 4 pages. Yes. Be a week. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah. I'll give it out on next Tuesday, and it will be due not the first Saturday, the second Saturday. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much.